Today is the 16th of August 2024 and I've got a lot of fucking things I need to cover. A lot of things. So where do I start? We'll start with the break-in attempt, shall we? Right, a few days ago I came back to my place and there's some people pissing about that I could hear when I got back, but it's probably not them, I do not know. When I came back my door was unlocked. And I phoned the staff up and staff said no one's been up there, so I thought to myself, well, someone's been there, and they said no one at all. So they said, so the staff sounded a bit shaky when they phoned me back, saying that there has been a cleaner up there. However, it's very unlikely she would have unlocked it, and if it was caused by her, it would have been accidental. So that's a possibility, but you also got to think of the sort of other possibilities. Now, the night before I actually went out with Peter, which is one of the neighbours, for, Costa. When I came back my door was locked then, so maybe it is caused by, an accidental fault, and sometimes it doesn't lock straight away because the staff at Chrysalis Housing and other people are allowed to go in there in authority if they have to do something in there. In the past I've lost a lot of stuff, in the early days of moving there, 2021 and 2022, and in early 2023 I had my microphone cut and my temperature gauge cut by someone who went into my place. I've also had a £1,000 money pack go missing, and a £500 money pack and a £250 money pack. The £1,000 money pack was saved up before I moved there to buy stuff for when I moved, but it was already in place, so I didn't need to buy anything. So I just kept it hidden, and it got found. But I didn't know that at the time. I thought I had it somewhere different, and when I was searching for it I realised that it had been taken. And also had a £500 money pack go missing, which was an alternative one that I wanted separate, because I was going to do away with the £1,000 money pack, but unfortunately I went out at the wrong time, the wrong day, and I forgot to hide it, and it went missing. And the £200 money pack is because what happened is I lost the card went missing, I lost my card or something like that. It was in the time period I went to Secret World Healing Weekend in 2022, when me and my father were accused of stealing, and where specific people in a specific store photographing me saying that you're being fucking knife dead because you're a child rapist and stole stuff from my store, which is making me suspicious it's that person that's reporting me, but I don't know. Anyway, I don't go there anymore, and when I go to Glastonbury I don't get the trouble of being mistaken as Savannah as much as what I used to get the trouble of going there. So anyway, we worked on the principle of when I saw the staff yesterday and today, the staff are not in a very happy mood with me. So whether me phoning up about the door being unlocked, I don't know. But what I will say is, if I did ever get a break-in, there'd be anything from graffiti, criminal damage, and possibly even arson in retaliation for the rest of my days. And it'd be done on sexuality and the fact that I lose my stuff. If we go back to 2006, when I wrote Bomb Hinkley Point Power Station graffiti, because of all the problems that occurred and the break-in that occurred back at that time, I got so fucking upset about it that I wrote that. The police told me not to worry about, not to write that. They're more concerned about my safety of being shot dead or anything like that than anything else when it comes to writing that. But obviously, we're in a different time. I've still not had sex. I'm too old to have someone that's sexual. I'm nailed as a sick cunt if I don't go with an old fogey or someone twice the age of people that sexually abused me as a child, and told I've got to go with a stale piece of shit that's had fucked thousands of people, said that you've got to go with a single mother because everyone's a single mother when they're a teenager and they've already had about 200 fucks in that time period. They're just insulting me like that, saying you've got to go with a fucking stale piece of shit. I'm not fucking having that. No. So if I get a break-in, that'll be the final straw. It will go into Bomb Hinkley Point Power Station graffiti. But there's a lot of nasty threats that are increasing at the moment, and I had an argument with someone yesterday which got nasty, and I got nasty about it. But we'll come to that in a minute. So that's what will happen. It will go back into that now. The fact that I've been sexually crucified, basically, and stopped from getting sex all my life, and nailed as a sick cunt, and accused of raping children and beating women and all the rest of it, means I don't take it very fucking nicely, because all my life I've had this. Right through the start, all my life. 99.9% of all fucking problems in my life is because of sexuality and stuff that's made up. So anyway, let's get past that breaking stage, shall we, and mention the next subject. Right, so the weather's the next problem. Each and every single day that I've gone out, it's been blue skies and sunshine on grey cloud predicted days, and it's been sunny and mostly with blue skies and sunshine. You may have days where there's a few clouds about, but not in the area where I am. They're away from me. Well, they predicted over 10 full grey cloud days for this area, all right across Somerset, since July the 11th. Where I've been, apart from 3 15-minute rainstorms and a maximum of 15 minutes of cloud cover on just a few days, on blue sky sunny days, then it's been blue skies and sunshine basically every single day since July the 11th to August the 16th, which it is today. And also the other thing I want to mention is, although last year was a really hot year, for this specific day, today's actually hotter than what it was this day last year, but not by much, because last year was a very hot year and it went into September. The second week in September was 29 degrees outside because I was camping in that time period, and then straight after that it just cooled down quite a bit, so it went down to sort of like 18, 22 degrees somewhere in that area. But yeah, the first 2 weeks of September 2023 was excessively hot. The hottest I've ever known September, in fact. But also, in the second week of September, if we go back 30 years ago, the average temperature would be about 4 degrees outside. So obviously global and climate change, or whatever you want to call it, is all different now. So that's the next thing that pissed me off, which has caused me to fuck up on many pictures, and I failed to take the pictures that I want to take. So yeah, and it also digging, and it also insulting me with stuff like enjoying sex in the sunshine, or sex in the sun, or sexuality involving the sunshine, rubbing it in and taking the piss out of me, and also suggesting this Lauren from this specific painting, this cursed painting, which has a sexy lady in her early 20s coming out the cloud in a sexual way, holding the sun down out of her hand on this man, doing a sexual pose with her lip, like a straight lip, and like she's making herself look like she's ready for sex with that person who she's cursing with the sunshine, basically. And they've also designed a picture of that specific person to have the same look of as my face if you were to take a picture of my face from a side angle. So yeah, very sneaky, aren't they? And it's a big selling postcard, and it's also a big selling, and the painting's obviously big because it's been on the internet in 2015, 2016 or whatever. Lauren, however, she doesn't like me and she hates me, but back in the days when I had a CD writing my stuff down on it, there was paper on there, and that paper that's inside the CD says, is anyone wanting friendship, because I never had anyone. But I stopped putting that in there because people were getting nasty with me, threatening to knife me, to bash me, and saying I'm a sick cunt, saying everyone's had sex even though I haven't, and I had no choice but to stop it. And I was thinking to myself, yeah, back in that time, you don't start doing this when people are in their 30s, and now I'm in my bloody nearly in my mid-40s, and I've also got grey hair, which is not a good sign. Not much, but grey hair's coming in. That's how fucking sly they are. They fucking hanged me, and this is why I said that if I get a break in, it will go into Bomb Hinkley Point power station graffiti, and that's the end of it now, because I've had enough of it. I'm not going to take it. I'm not going to be hanged anymore. But anyway, let's just get with this weather quickly, shall we? So yeah, so that's the curse painting, and basically this sun curse has sort of been since around the time I saw it in Yandles, but I didn't buy it at the time because it was hot and sunny. I just couldn't be bothered to fucking look at it properly. It was only when I sort of was reading into it as I saw it when I was walking to the bus stop, that I realised what it was suggesting. I thought I've got to go back and get it. I thought, well, I can't do it now because it's the last bus. There's only a few minutes to wait. And I thought, I know what to do, I'll come back tomorrow. But I never did because I couldn't get on the bus because it's too busy and too packed, and it's boiling hot and sunny. So I thought, I'll try and look on the internet. And when we went back there, they didn't have it for sale, and obviously that's the end of that. There was a time where I went there and she gave me the artist who painted that painting, but unfortunately I've lost that piece of paper, and when I went back there, they were insulting me as mistaking me as Savannah as a child rapist in a certain way, and saying that he's going to be smashed out, and muttering stuff behind me, and that information was never given again. So that's that. when it comes to Lauren, obviously she's in a sexual relationship with someone called Mike. This person called Mike thinks I'm severe, and he went to fucking smash me out and shouting he's a fucking muscly person that works on scaffolding of, I'm not sure what work it is. And she's got 2 ginger haired boys since the time that she saw me. Whether she was in a relationship at that time, I do not know, but she did acknowledge my CD cover and she tried to imply that she was single. But every time that I was going into Tesco's, there would be nasty people that were arguing with me, giving me threats under my real name, of threats that were occurring in Bridgewater, basically, and getting nasty. And some didn't give names at all, they just started on me for no reason, and pushed me out, and then eventually she turned against me, and that's the end of Lauren. However, although this painting looks like Lauren, it's not 100% looking like Lauren. It looks very similar, so that's why I call it a Lauren painting, because it's the nearest person I've actually spoken to, or well, not spoken to, sorry, but seen who can resemble this specific lady. But you could also mix Kylie Minogue and Britney Spears together when they're slightly younger to resemble the same appearance. If those 2 faces were to do that, I don't know, hard to say. Really, I need to get a picture, to be fair, because I don't know anyone that I can easily describe it as. There's a Jesus Christ that's kissing Mary Magdalene and cuddling her when he was in a sexual relationship with Mary Magdalene. I guess there's a picture where she looks similar to that as well in that painting. I mean, this painting might not even be suggesting Lauren. It could be a totally new person, a totally different person. But either way, I'm being cursed. I don't like the sunshine. I'm getting pissed off of the sunshine. Yet, when the sun comes around you in a cursed way, it should come with a sex as well, but it doesn't. They're violating me with that painting. It should be cloudy days with no sex, like my life is running at the moment. But it's not. There's no sex and sunny days. But when you've got that painting being cursed on you in the way it looks, and the suggestion of the abstract and the cleverness of that painting, I should be getting sex with the sunshine, even though I don't like the sunshine. I'm against the sunshine, getting pissed off at the sunshine. It should come with a sex, but it doesn't. I'm being violated. Anyway, that's it for that painting. Over the last several days, week or so, threats are on the increase, so people are getting a lot nastier. In fact, the threats have been on the increase since roughly about the 5th or the 6th of July. So it's been really nasty. So people have been threatening to smash me in, bash my brains out, knife me to the fucking floor, to rip my fucking arms and legs off, to beat me to fucking death, to put me into a hospital bed, to smash my fucking spine up, to bash my fucking ribs out, and to fucking smash my fucking head off, and bash all my teeth in, and kick my fucking head around like a fucking rugby ball, and to inject me with HIV, or to inject me with substances that can kill you instantly, or other substances that are dangerous, to extreme violence and murder, basically, with a few threats to tell me that I'm being fucking shot dead, manslaughtered, and things like that. So all the threats are on the increase at the moment, but the one specific threat in particular is to bash me out. On several threats that I've had, they said if he doesn't go down, I'll finish the fight with a knife, get him on the fucking floor, and then fucking knife him. And some people have told me that not only are they going to knife me in a fight, but saying that when I fucking smash him out, I'm going to cut his fucking wrists and throat him in his main arteries of the body, and the bastard's bleeding, and he's left to call a fucking ambulance. So basically getting nasty saying that. But as I said, the most nastiest threat at the moment, 2 nastiest threats that are occurring at the moment, are to beat me to fucking death, to break in and burgle me, and to tell me that everything's missing, that your life's being fucking taken apart, misery, and to say that once you've had a break-in, and you've had your fucking phone smashed, or your fucking laptop broken, or whatever, then we're fucking kicking off and going to give you fucking hell, basically, because of sexuality, accusing me of raping children and women, and accusing me of being a woman beater, and a fucking dangerous fucking screwball and fucking psychopath. So we've had all that at the moment. But as I said, the main threat is to claim that is basically to claim that I've raped women and children, and saying that I'm going to have to be fucking beaten to death or bashed to fucking pieces, have your fucking face beyond repair and stuff like that. So it's all getting nasty at the moment. So obviously the average amount of threats I get on most days is about 40 to 50 threats per day. So it's increasing quite a lot. It's a bit like 2022 at this minute in time. Not for the whole year, obviously, because it's been a week. There's been 2 weeks with only about 1 threat. If we go back to January, there's hardly any threats at all in the whole month of January. So it's up and down, but at the moment we're currently going through a stage, especially since the 5th or the 6th of July 2024, where all these threats are only increased to roughly about 40 to 50 threats a day. Most of them are remarks, some of it's quite stern, but there's been a few people that have got nasty with me. So I basically had to say, this only happened yesterday, and this was just one out of many incidents that have occurred recently, which is someone photographs me saying that I'm going to be beaten to death, that I'm a child rapist, and that he's Sven, and which is not my name because I'm mistaken as Sven, and having my life fucking taken and being shot dead. So they photographed me, so I photographed them back. So he asked, why are you photographing it? Delete it off now. I said, delete it off now. I said, I have deleted it off. And then after I stopped the recording, because I actually filmed the actual incident, not their faces, but I did have the picture, I didn't delete it off. They don't look the sort of type that usually start on me, but obviously they thought I was Sven, so they wanted to fucking cause a bit of trouble. So obviously they started shouting at me and saying they're going to break my camera and they're fucking going to smash me in. And I said, I'll fucking knife you. And then I said, it's sexuality. So I got nasty about it and shouted that back. And then obviously that was that. But they shouted first, obviously, but I didn't manage to film that. And obviously when I was filming, I was facing the camera to the ground because I didn't want to make it look bad. And I think they found out that I was filming and their voice was captured. And it's already on YouTube. Alright, the other incident is where 2 people went to shout and say they're going to fucking smash me out, and I've had a couple of car drivers that I've had to photograph the registration plates to because they're saying I'm a child rapist, and yet half of these people that are shouting at me are in sexual relationships with people in their early 20s, with children, and these are like really sexual, smooth-skinned, blonde girls that they're with. Yet I'm in my 40s, and I'm told I'm a sick cunt if I don't go with anyone over the age of 40. And yet they're in a sexual relationship with someone 20 years younger and nailing me as a sick bastard, threatening to smash my fucking brains out and fucking knife me dead and fucking saying I'm a fucking rapist and a sick cunt or whatever. So I'm very annoyed by that. And I will say something else. I would be known as a sick cunt if I was to look at anyone over 5 years the age Jesus Christ was when he was crucified by today's people. So if I look at a woman, say 37, 38, I'm known as a sick cunt. I'm actually the oldest person that's moaned about my age. It could be joking about, but it might not be. Is actually 40 years of age, which was at the beginning of this year, 2024, on the internet. I don't know if she's messing about or not, but she could have been. But for actual people that are actually moaning about my age realistically, or getting nasty, the highest it's gone to is 38. And obviously I'm 43 coming up 44. So I'm not very happy about this, but whose fault is it that I don't have anyone? All these people that stopped me getting sex all my life. So, you know, it just goes on and on and on, with trouble and trouble, always on sexuality, and yet they're telling me that if I don't go with a granny, I'm a sick cunt. Some are saying you're not even supposed to have fucking sex when you reach the age of 40. You're supposed to be in a sexual relationship with a non-sexual relation. And if you go on the internet, most people over the age of 40 that are women saying they want a non-sexual relationship. When they're around about 35 up, 35 years of age or older. Nobody wants a sexual relationship. They just want someone to live with, basically. A husband to do the work. But without sex, you know. They want someone who was, to look after their children, to be in a relationship with them, but to have no sex, and they want a man that's working, that can help pay for that woman and her children, which don't even belong to whoever's going to go in a sexual relationship with this person. And they want a non-sexual relationship life as well. So just shows all these women are just fucking users without even giving you sex. And when they reach that age, they all look like fucking zombies anyway. In foreign countries, you can get women with smooth skin up to the age of about possibly 60, and in some cases possibly as high as 65. It's very rare, but you can get a woman with smooth skin, sexual looking, up to the age of about 65. In the UK, as soon as they hit the age of about 25, they develop this zombie attraction, they turn out fat, and they look gross. And that's the type I'm being told to go with, or I'm being nailed as a sick cunt. So they give this appearance of like greasy hair. So misted up. They wear misted up dark glasses, and they have like big eyes, which have been nicknamed Gizmo eyes when I've been insulted or told to go with a specific lady called Lisa. They have like rough skin across the face, looks raw, possibly like you know, the disease shingles. Similar to that, like I don't know, warts maybe. I don't know a polite way to put it. To be fair, I just can't think of a name to word it at this minute in time. You know, and the skin on a, you know, like the woman's got the chest like a fat woman with a chest where it's all red and raw, you know, and you're being told to go with that type. And also they're the unhygienic type. They're very boastful, spit talky. When they cough in a hard way, like oh, you know, like that. And also, when they open their mouth, it looks very disgusting inside, you know. I'm not saying everybody's got rotted teeth or have an unhygienic appearance and bad breath or anything else, but this is the type I'm being told to go with, or supposed to fancy, and I'm being told I'm a sick cunt if I don't go with that type. Well, I can't take to that type, so obviously I'm not going to go with that type. That's a fucking certainty. So they're nicknamed as the Toffs, Toffs. Sometimes these sorts of people boast in a way like they're a single mother. They move their lip in a dry and sarcastic way, and they sort of very mature accents, and I just don't want to go with a person like that. Not for first ever relationship or first sexual relationship with a woman. All my enemies had a first sexual relationship with a woman when they were a fucking child or teenager, and yet they got the nerve to put me down as a sick cunt if I don't look at anyone over the age of 40 for first ever sexual relationship, if it ever occurs in my lifetime, which is very unlikely. And that is why I said earlier, if I get a break-in, I'll be writing Bomb Hinkley Point Power Station everywhere, and I'm making it fucking clear because I've had enough of it. You don't rip people to fucking pieces and take them apart and get away with it, basically. You've got to take into account that the stuff that I had that was placed in a storage place has been broken into as well. You've got to take into account energy weapons, which was causing eye trouble at my old place, caused me to lose all my jungle music, with less than 35 tracks that are rescued today, and has also caused me to lose the music that I initially had from my vinyl that I took off, the few tracks that survived, because even when I had took that off, these orange M-Tech USB sticks all messed it up, these 16GB ones that I bought from Curry's back in 2010 area, or around that sort of time, maybe a little bit before, and they just messed up. They've just buckled all the data that's on all the records that I saved, so I lost most of my records anyway. Eventually I gave all my records to a person on Facebook who I'm no longer friends with, and he did a lot of mixing with those records, and I said he could keep the records, because I only bought the records at the time because I wanted the tracks, not for the mixing or anything else. I just wanted the music tracks, and none of it's on the internet back in those days. And then it did go on the internet, and people started uploading it on YouTube and other places, but now we're going through another phase where it's all coming off again, so it's not there anymore. And also some of the record companies that are reissuing this old school jungle music at this minute in time have been banned from doing so, and they've had to take off the they've had to stop selling the records that they were selling, and they've also had to take off the MP3 download and WAV downloads that can be up to about £5 to pay for one track. They've had to take it all off because of legalisation of music laws and all the restrictions that you know, they're not allowed to do it anymore. But the worst thing that's ever occurred is, just before I moved, I collected a whole load of dark ambient cryo chamber CDs, changing my style of music to a more miserable, moody, relaxed type of music, thinking my life's going to get worse, so I might as well change my music and listen to some darker stuff that's more moody, dreamy and trancey or whatever. But I didn't expect that what was causing the burning sensation at my place at the beginning of this year, 2024, which is a possibility is caused by an energy weapon that's causing it. And that's basically damaged all those CDs. And while buying those CDs, I paid a high price because I was wasting my money on them. I knew they were expensive, and I thought I want to get this music because I'm going to have no music otherwise. and I thought I don't listen to any other music because all today's music is sexual and happy and jolly, and I don't like happy, jolly, good life sexual music. Same with hip hop. I don't like hip hop. I don't like gangstery music. So it cost me roughly 850 quid, I think, for all those discs in total, the ones I got. And guess what? When I took those discs down to my father's, when I stayed down my father's, because I was experiencing intense burning where I couldn't stay at my place because of some form of energy weapon or something was causing it, whatever was causing my burning has damaged all those discs, every one of them. So I had to chuck them out. And they were separate because they weren't the ones that were put into the garage, which got broken into. And I didn't get compensated or refunded for all the stuff I put in there. All sentimental stuff's gone. Although I have my Deep Depression life story packs on hard drives and things on other hard drives, when it comes to audio content or these blank M discs or whatever I bought, all that's fucking gone. The whole lot. Everything. You're looking at thousands and thousands. I mean, a very high amount of money. I mean, there's no way I can let all this go, you know. So obviously there will be retaliation if I get a break-in. Because if I get a break-in at this place, that's everything gone. I mean, that's all. I got to rely on everything that's in my place at the moment, because everything... So I've been buying things back, because obviously the break-in has meant I've had to empty my account to try and get a few things back. So obviously I've managed to get a couple of CDs, and saved them quickly before the CD messes up. But, you know, most things that I've been buying is sort of haunted objects, spirited items, essential things, requirements, stuff that I'm getting ready to prepare for when I move from that place. But the problem is, the council are only offering slums when it comes to the mutual exchange register. So if anyone's trying to move from one place to another, they can do that, but because I'm in a specific accommodation, I can only bid for what they advertise, and at the moment they're advertising very dangerous places. While I was getting cursed with the sun yesterday, because it was supposed to be a grey cloud day right through from start to finish, even in that area, yesterday was taking the piss, because it's the only area in the whole country that's cloudy, where sunny, out of the whole area. I was filming the bus ticket of someone's bus ticket that was on the floor, and the Sun newspaper in one stop. Quite simply, from start to finish, until the end of the day, it was blue skies and sunshine. Yet just a few miles up the road, in Yeovil, where I live, they're saying that there hasn't been a single sun, the sun hasn't been out at all, not once today. They said they haven't seen the sun once. And when I spoke to my mum and spoke to other people, it's cloudy. So they were opening the sky up in a deliberate way, where it's blue skies and sunshine, with a 10 mile, maybe 20 mile opening, surrounding only where I am in particular. And they held it there before they, where I was, for the whole day basically. And then what happens when I get the bus home? It starts to move a little bit quicker, and it seems to follow me right through until I get back to Yeovil. However, there was a 1 minute rainstorm that occurred in that time period. In total, you had about, I think I calculated it as roughly just 13 minutes, or just under 13 minutes of cloud cover for the whole of that day. So I was not very fucking happy about it. And most of that cloud was in the morning time, when I wanted to take a picture of a bridge, which I failed to do because an ambulance was parked there, and I needed to get the next bus. And because I didn't realise the road was closed, I actually missed that bus and had to walk to the next bus stop. But in the time period that I walked to the next bus stop, the ambulance moved slightly down. So I had to be choked by a catalytic converter by the ambulance with no choice. However, it moved enough for me to photograph that bridge. But I had to wait there 20 minutes for some cloud cover. And as I was lucky, there was about 30 seconds of cloud cover, or something like that, and then another bit of cloud cover that lasted a little bit longer, that allowed me to get that picture of that bridge. So I appreciated a picture I got initially, but the thing is, it should have been cloudy for the whole day, not just for a few seconds here and there. And that's what pissed me off. Like I said earlier, it's been sunny every single day, almost the whole of this year. And in 2023, there was only about 6 24-hour days which are put together in a time frame of all the rain, cloud, or whatever else, where the sun isn't out. So you only had the equivalent for the whole year. This is not just for a section, this is for 365 days. The whole year of 2023, there's only about 6 days worth of cloudy or rainy weather for the whole of that year where I was. Otherwise it's blue skies and sunshine. In 2022 I thought that was a sunny year, and I thought this is a really, really sunny year. But when you compare it to 2023, you probably had you definitely had a lot more in the way of rain, cloud than you did in 2023. You could actually take pictures. I was camping at Portland, I had to go there quite a few times. There's sunny days in between where I couldn't go there, but you could literally go there and there was actually days, or there was some form of cloud or rain almost every day. Even if it was only 5 minutes, you had some form of cloud, rain or whatever as a break from the sun. In 2023 you didn't get that. This year in 2024 you don't get that either. Apart from the 2nd of April, the 28th of May, the 22nd of June, then basically half a day rain or cloud or whatever. Because April, it was getting dark early, it was 3/4 of a day, and then even in that you had 2 or 3 15-minute periods where the sun was out. So it wasn't really that great, but it's definitely it definitely was mostly rainy when I was out, so I was happy about that. In total, you've had in that time period between the middle of March and the 2nd of April, 5th of April, you had about 20 rainstorms, no more than a couple of minutes, and it was enough to cause the sky to be cloudy for a short period of time while it rains. But after the 2nd of April, 5th of April, whenever it was, there was about 50 more rainstorms up until June or whatever it was, the month I calculated it at. And out of those 50 rainstorms, which were, again, no more than 5 minutes usually when it was raining, they caused each and every one of those rainstorms so that the sun was out at the same time that it was raining. Each and every one of those rainstorms. And then it got a little bit more tighter, and as we come into July, it started to cloud over again when it was raining, though there still was some incidents where it was sunny and raining at the same time. On some occasions you get nice rainbows, but the problem is they're trying to hold that sun out on me purposely, and when you work it on that curse painting, I'm not very fucking happy about it. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there on that subject, and I'm going to get on to the next subject, because I could go on all day just mentioning that one subject, and I've got a lot to go through. Right, so in 2022 I was mentioning that they're timing roughly 40 plus people, and can be up to about 200 on a very bad day, of where they need to time people to sneeze in my face, cough in my face, or spit talk in my face so it lands in my face or in my eye. Well, not so much as sneezing, though it has occurred. That roughly occurs about 10 times a day, so it's slightly down to 2022, but it's a bit worse than what it was in 2023. So a lot of people that are talking at the moment, or coughing, the spit keeps landing on my face, in my mouth or in my eye, and it seems to be quite literally every other person that does it, and I don't know why that's happening at the moment, but it seems to be done in a way where it keeps on doing that, it keeps on going in my eye, where most of my life I could walk past people speaking, and it's very rare that a spit will hit you in the eye. There's been times where it's hit me in the face, that's been quite common right through my life, but it hasn't been nothing like it is today. So people are a lot more spitty talking. They're also causing these unhygienic looking types of people to be in my direction. So when I go out or walk anywhere, and this has gone on for years, they're always timing the roughneck, blonde, dry and sarcastic teenage woman that puts you down as a sick cunt, or they're timing these ugly, unhygienic, boastful types of fat women, or ugly grannies or whatever, into my direction in a sneaky way. Or if they're not doing that, they're timing these rough, nasty types of people in my direction. That's the only 3 types of people they ever put in my direction. Actually seeing any other type of person is extremely rare. Seeing a normal, calm type of person in my direction, you literally, it's hardly ever. It's hardly ever I actually see children in my direction, to be fair. I see rough types of children, or females that are in sexual relationships from a rough community, or the bearded type rough people in my direction when it comes to adults. But you don't get the sort of people like seeing a single woman in my direction. That's impossible. You never see that. Otherwise I would have been with someone by now, you know. They don't allow that. I don't know how they control everyone's movement, but they stop that. But anyway, going back to people coughing and sneezing in my face, it's roughly 10 times a day that the sneezing's occurring. People boastfully coughing over you, or spit talking over you, showing no manners, you know, just boastfully doing it. And because these types of people have a hard cough or hard whatever, in a sort of way, rather than gentle cough like, you know, like that. You know, it's going over you, but there's nothing you can do. And their mouth is full of fucking water or whatever. So, you know, so people are being unhygienic, and this is happening up to about 40 to 50 times a day where wet is occurring on my face or in my eye, and I'm getting very pissed off of it. I literally wasting water, and I have to keep going to either a tap or buying another bottle of water from the shop because of how frequent this is occurring. So I've started taking a little like kitchen towel out in a little plastic bag like that, where I wet a towel and put some, you know, soap mix with it, where it's a little bit wet, not enough to make my bag wet, so that every time that this occurs I can wash my eyes or wash my face. That's how ridiculous it's got. I have to do this every day now, every time I go out, because it's a frequent basis. And it started in 2022 when I started doing this, but it's mostly water I was using back at that time. So I've had to, even when I was at Portland, I had to you know, go into the campsite. You know, this is on the first time I stayed before I went there. I had to go into there just to wash my head because I sneezed directly over. No manners at all. Didn't say sorry. It's just boastful types of people, rough people. You know, so that's. But anyway, to cut a long story short, let's just say that this coughing and sneezing and whatever is on the increase. To cut a long story short, the next thing that's increasing is the needing to time allow bike, time to get my willy shooting up or getting an erection, time masturbating, time to sudden sexual impulses, or where your penis is desperate for sex because it hasn't had sex all its life. It's got that feeling where it gets that urge or gets that erection. Well, they need to time allow bike when that occurs. They need to time allow bike when I go to the toilet, wash my penis, dry my penis with tissue after going for a piss. Rather personal thing to talk about, but you know, there's no manners, is there? So they want to fucking be like, I'll just expose it as it is, because they want to be personal about it. I'll have to be personal about it. But yeah, there's not a single erection that you can get, and there hasn't been a single erection that I've managed to get for basically many years. The first year I moved to Yeovil, there was loud bikes to erections, but it wasn't ever, you know, you could get erections without a loud bike being timed. When I was at Burnham-on-Sea, there was 2 years, I can't remember the year it was either 2015, 2016 or 2017. That's 3 years that I mentioned. 2 of those years, the whole year, 365 days of both of those years, whatever 2 years it was, they timed a loud bike to each and every single erection, fixed to my penis like a pulley. There wasn't a single erection unless there's a loud bike. And that includes going on the bus, visiting my mum's, and anywhere else I've gone. It's like it's fixed. It's like it's controlled and fixed wherever I went. My willy was fixed to a bike continuously. So I was really, really fucked off about that. So as it stands with since I've done the last video, several days ago or a week ago, whenever it was, I can't remember now, then obviously you're looking at somewhere around about 400, possibly 500 a day at the moment. Pretty much most days. If there was any minimal days, you're probably looking at about 350, something like that at the minimal, since I last done the last video. So yeah, I've known it a lot worse, but it's certainly not good at the moment. About 4 days ago, I had an argument. So a lady aged about high 20s, early 30s at a push, wound down her car window and started an argument with me. So she was a sexual lady. She had kind of smoothish skin. Probably a type that I could fancy. But I would have preferred something a little bit more sexual looking than that. But she basically started effing and blinding at me, shouting her head off, saying, yeah, the reason that you're not getting anyone, and the reason is because you're looking at the wrong type. You should be looking at people your age fucking group, and should be looking at people that are more serious and more sort of sour in the face. I can't remember the definition that she used, but she basically said you're supposed to look at people that are more, you know, more serious, more, you know, whatever word it is she used. So she started that crap, and then she said, you're supposed to be fancying people like her over there, on that side of the road there. You see her there? That type. So get that through your fucking thick head, you sick cunt. So she basically started shouting that, right? Well, the person that she pointed to, believe it or not, looks like someone who sexually abused me as a child, but about 30 years older than that person who sexually abused me as a child. At the age that person would have been at the time he sexually abused me when I was a child. Because that person who sexually abused me as a child would be younger than I am today as well, by 15 years. So, yeah, she started that, but also, this person across the road didn't just look like that, but obviously like a granny as well. So she's basically, yeah, grey hair coming, so pretty much almost grey hair, and basically, in actual fact, if you were to look at her about 100 foot away, or whatever, it would look like a granny, just like a granny. So basically, she was basically having an argument, saying that I'm supposed to fancy that person, and all the rest of it. So I thought to myself, well, why is she having sex at the age she is, and why has she got so many kids on the back? So her teenage daughter on the back seat, I can't remember what she said now, she started having a go at me, saying, yeah, you're fucking sick. You listen to what my fucking mother says. You're sick. Fucking sick. And I got a bit shitty, and I said, well, if I'm sick, why have you got a fucking baby daughter and you're only about fucking 16 or whatever? You know? And then her mother started a row with me again out the car window, and then two people in cars, rough-bearded people, started having a... And so, you alright, madam? Or is he giving you shit? Because I'll get out of the car and I'll fucking smash his fucking teeth in, I'll fucking do this and do that. So we had one person start that, and the person who said that from the car, he was only in his early 20s, and with a sexual blonde girlfriend, and a baby, and another small child that's no older than 2. And so I'm thinking to myself, he's got the nerve to put me down as a sick bastard. Yeah, he's had sex under the age of 40. So, you know, he's having a go at me. So then he gives me an evil look, and he says something, I can't remember what it was, and he revved like hell as he passed, and then I nearly got to the stage where I put my fist through the window of that car, of the woman that was having an argument with me as soon as that occurred. I did manage to control myself though. So, nothing was done. Then another person in the car, who's a little bit older, so he's about 25, 28ish. Again, he's with a sexual blonde smooth-skinned girlfriend with 3 children, with one of those children about 8, 9 years of age, who's a girl with blonde hair, in the back of that car. He had a go at me and said, is he giving you trouble? Because I'll tell you what, I'll go and fucking smash him, because he's a rapist, he's a fucking child rapist, I can tell you that now. If I can always get out, I can fucking smash him, or I can get the police for you. And he started on like that. So in the end, I walked off and left it at that. And then I tried to photograph the evidence, and then obviously, what happens? The camera decides to play up. So I ended up shouting a few words as I walked off, and that was the end of that. Take into account, I'm known as a sick cunt if I don't have sex or with a female for the first time in my whole life to be over the age of 40. So what is everyone else doing having sex under the age of 40 in this world? So that makes everyone under the age of 40 that's had sex worldwide a sick bastard then, doesn't it? No offence, but if people have had sex under the age of 40 and I'm told I'm a sick cunt if I don't have sex with anyone over the age of 40, then obviously that makes the world, that makes humanity a sick bastard if they've had sex over the age of 40. Which, if you take into account many years ago, people only lived to the age of 40 before they started to die. Back in days when it wasn't healthy or clean, or people had to survive and struggle to live, you know. So, basically all those people are sick bastards of the past that have died before and had sex before they died. So, you know, it's like that. It's just getting nastier and nastier, these fucking threats. So, you know, this is why I'm starting to come a little bit loose and get a bit nasty. Obviously, when I had that argument the other day, yesterday, I didn't actually have a knife on me. But I told him I did, because I wanted to get nasty with it. I wanted to make it clear that I wasn't fucking happy with him. And obviously I don't carry a knife, because obviously if I did, I'd go to jail, or if I didn't go to jail, I'd be in very serious trouble. So that's why I don't carry a knife. But I had to tell him that, because I wanted to get nasty, because I wasn't very happy with being told I was a sick bastard and being photographed, and him moaning about me photographing him. So, yeah, that's just one of the incidents out of the threats that I was mentioning that I've had over the last week or so. So there's been a lot of things like this, but I'm just trying to recap on a few things that are a bit more serious than others that I just want to mention, basically. Right, the other bit of bad news I want to mention is I've been scammed on eBay. £150 nearly. So I've had to buy a camera because my other camera was playing up and the lens fell off when it fell out my pocket. Going back, and I've been using that camera as like a basic camera to take pictures of problems when I go out. But I also like to have a camera where I take pictures of good things, and it's the same make of camera because I find it easy to operate and that sort of thing. Was someone called Footy Fan, and a 2-digit number, which I think is 89, I'm not sure. Sold me a camera claiming it's like new, and I didn't initially use it because it had a couple of scratches in the lens, which he lied about on eBay. But I only discovered last night that the actual flash doesn't work either. So I've tried to get back onto eBay to message, and because it was sold and I already left feedback, they said it's so many days old and it's too late for me to do anything. So basically I've been robbed of a camera of £150 fucking pounds, which I just discovered. And I didn't really want to pay that price, but I couldn't find them anywhere, and I only like using this specific type. Many people are telling me to buy a smartphone, but the problem is, why should I be forced to go for a sex phone, which was the initial name they were going to give these smartphones back in 2003, before they became big, but because it sounded politically incorrect, they didn't use the term sex phone, and they renamed it smartphone, because they thought, the reason they wanted to name it a sex phone is because they thought that most people that would get a phone, if they call it a sex phone, because everyone would be in relationships, everybody would know each other, they would get in relationships, everyone would have a phone, so they thought, you know, they wanted to call it the sex phone, but like I said, it sounded politically incorrect, so they didn't use the term sex phone, and they called it the smartphone instead. So when I refer to a sex phone, that's the reason I refer to the smartphone as a sex phone, because they were going to name it the sex phone back in the 2003 area, or just before that. I can't remember what it was now, but it's in that sort of time period. It's just as the internet phones came in, or something, some form of time period like that. I can't remember when it was. Whether it's a bit later, 2003, I can't remember. It's in that area. So yeah, so I don't use a smartphone for several reasons. One, I'd have no one to speak to. One, I prefer to use the internet when I'm at home rather than out. And also, it's not ideal if you're doing things when it if you're like doing things with music, pictures, or trying to save it onto a USB stick or a hard drive, or burn it to a disk, which I can't do at the moment, which I'm very pissed off about, because the disk drive's buggered and I can't do disk recordings in that place, because whatever's causing the burning sensation that I'm getting in that place is messing up the disk drive, is causing something to occur with the disk drive. Now, I mentioned this to people like the support worker, the people that run the home treatment team, you know, people that are involved with people, and new people that I've not heard of before, that occurred since I moved to supported housing in Yeovil. They believe it's caused by schizophrenia, and they think I'm a schizophrenic. Well, I disagree with that, and so do my parents, and so do everybody else that know me. They know that it's autism and Asperger's, but they just want to shut my mouth and give me medication, give me a taste of that, to try and fucking knock me off, basically. Telling me to shut your fucking face, just take that. Fucking, if it kills you, it kills you. You just get out of our fucking way, we need you out of our way. Just, the more you're out of our way, the better. just shut your fucking face, we've got other things we need to do that are more important. That's their attitude towards you. So that's the best it gets at the moment. So yeah, I can't use the disk drive because of many reasons. One, you're getting interference, the other, it won't save properly, and keeps jamming, and it's just stuff like that, which doesn't usually occur under normal circumstances, or has never occurred before the year of 2018 area, because it was around about 2018 area, maybe just end of 2017, I can't remember, when this eye problem occurred at my old place. And then obviously it's January the 1st for these sorts of issues occurring at my new place at Yeovil. However, the burning was very intense from the start of February until until I had to go to my dad's because of the issue. And then obviously that's when I discovered that all my discs were buggered up from, yet they were working in November of 2023 because I tried them. So if it is an energy weapon that's messed them all up, it messed them up after the month of November 2023, and somewhere just before I went to my dad's in February 2024 because of the burning sensation. How it's messed up every disc I do not know, but I was not very fucking happy. And take into account, when I found out that I was burgled where my stuff was stored, and I found out all these problems occurred, they didn't want to lay off with this action. They just increased the problem, so I had more threats increase at that time period. I had more action in my path, more setups, being nailed as a sick cunt when I've done nothing wrong. And also, it was the start or the return of this Sadie Dando business being reoccurring in a more frequent threat. The Stephanie Hill, or Jill, or whatever her surname is, and the Sadie threat, both threats died out around about 2012, 2013 area. And you haven't really had that since. It's only since I moved to Yeovil, when that person went to attack me in April 2022, pretending to be a single lady, he wanted me to be smashed up to pieces on the railway track at Highbridge, and he met in Bridgewater. And I didn't want to argue with him because he was a hard person, and he's a fighter type person. So I had no weapon on me or anything like that, so I had to scream for help because I knew I wouldn't be able to fight back whoever this person was, because he was built like a brick shithouse. He was younger than me, but he's built like a brick shithouse, and he was not very happy with me. And he thinks I'm a rapist, and he doesn't believe my name's Justin, he thinks I'm Savan. And obviously he filmed me at the time this occurred, and obviously I had to sort of get out of the area, and almost had to phone police. So that's the end of that. So the specific names of these people that I kind of knew in the past, like some of Sadie Dando's friends. Sadie's probably the tamest or the safest person you could probably communicate with out of all her friends that used to know her, as they're all turned rough, they're all in relationships and all single mothers. And there's many other people as well of the past, even people I known myself. Everyone I known, nobody from where I used to live likes me at all. They're all through. Even this Gemma I mentioned, she didn't really know me, but we spoke on the beach. There's two people. There's another person that looked like her, but that other person that looked like her was slightly rougher skin looking, and she was a single mother of three, where Gemma was a bit more sort of longer in the face, smoother skin. And either way, both of those people don't speak, so it's not a problem. But when I left a piece of paper in her workplace, it was private. It wasn't on display for everyone to read. It was like in a card. Just ask if she wanted to meet up. I've actually spoken to the staff that supported housing back in 2021, I think it was. What it said on the what it said basically, because I did another note. I did two notes the same. Okay, so I want to show the staff, and they said that's not a problem. They said I would have thought of wording it a bit better, but they said if you swear that you've spoken to her or seen her on the beach or whatever, they said it shouldn't be a problem. Give it a try, why not? But when she got there and found out, because I left my number on there, she phoned me up saying, you just made the biggest fucking fuck up ever. Saying, how fucking sick are you? Saying, you got the nerve to ask a 31-year-old girl if she is single when you sick cunt, and saying, you're, what, 39 or something like that, she said. He said, you just landed yourself right in it, because I'm going to fucking contact the police. And then she's changed her story on that, saying, I'm not going to contact the police, I'm going to keep that letter. And I said, you only can't come anywhere near this shop or anywhere, you're going to fucking end up dead, you're going to be fucking knifed to the floor. And she said, the people I know that I got against me, they will fucking smash you in, they'll take your you've just fucked your whole fucking life up, you sick cunt. And then obviously she started raging and shouting other stuff on the phone, and then she said, don't you ever fucking come back in this area ever again, and saying, you're fucking dead. And then she said, bye, like that, at the end of the call. So yeah, it didn't go down very well, so I didn't know she was like that, so otherwise I wouldn't have left a letter there. But I thought it was good enough, you know, I thought I knew her to a point where she wouldn't have said that. I mean, there's a time where I was digging a hole in the sand, and she joked with me and said, don't fall down there. I said, no I won't. I said, dig in for bait. She said, dig in for bait, my ass. And I sort of laughed, said something else. But obviously she didn't remember that, or she just doesn't care, and she sort of sees you as not knowing her. So that's the end of that. Out of everybody I known, and believe it or not, well, I didn't really know her that well, but I knew her enough to, you know, well, I thought it'd be because I've spoken to other people about this, and you know, before I actually left that letter, and they thought it wouldn't be too much of a problem. They're saying if you didn't know her at all, yeah, that would be a problem, but because you've actually spoken, or you've seen her, or said alright or whatever, it shouldn't be too much of a problem. But yeah, it is. And there's sometimes during lockdown when I saw her where she was mistaking me as Liam, and it got to Savannah business then, and she was getting muddled, and there was times where she wouldn't speak for a time, and then times that she would speak, but things never really sort of branched, to be fair. It just collapsed basically. But the very final time that I saw her before I moved to Yeovil, she did actually say alright, and I thought if she said alright on that time, I thought I might risk that letter, but I didn't know it was going to come back with revengeance. So take that one specific person away, the same day out of all the lockdowns, when the first coronavirus outbreak initially occurred, which I think was in the 1st of December 2019, I'm not sure. I know it's the first day that the coronavirus outbreak occurred was the same day I found out that the very final person I know in person has become a single mother, and it's too late to go with anybody that I know. So then I was thinking of this Gemma, and that's the only person that's left. But I don't even know 100% if she's a single mother, but she does not appear to be. So take that away. Obviously she turned, and then obviously I had to move to Yeovil, and there's a couple of people that I knew from Yeovil that have turned against me, called Emma, and I've forgotten what the name is of that lady that looks like a dog. But just to cut a long story short, because I've mentioned this many times before, the lady that looks like a dog has turned against me because people have turned her against me quite simply because they think I'm Savannah. And that began in 2022 in I think it was August, the month of August, when I saw her on the train on a Saturday, because I wanted to try and speak to her because I remember her from college, and obviously she used to be known as the ugliest person in the college because of her dog looking, because she looks very similar to a poodle dog in features in the face. People didn't see her as being sexy, but when you consider how ugly people are in my age group, I'd probably say she's quite sexy when you compare it to the looks. And I am able to fancy her, and she does have smoothish skin. So she's roughly my age, maybe a little bit older, maybe a couple of years younger, but that is probably no more than a year, 2 years in either direction, 2 years at a push in any direction. So she's basically my age. But because some people thought she was younger than me on the train, one bloke got nasty with me saying, I'll fucking break your fucking teeth, you stop looking at her, and just, I can't remember what he said now. Then another bloke person was only about 17, something like that, 18, youngish type chap, also got nasty with me because I was looking at this specific lady, because they were mistaking her age as being a lot younger than what her age really is, and they thought that she was, you know, but they didn't they didn't know that she's my age. They thought she looks a lot younger, and they started getting nasty with me, and saying that I'll violently take you out and fucking bash you in when we get off this train. So then she went obviously to the crowd of people she was with, and they were mistaking me as Sven. On other times that I saw her, again, it's too late because of being mistaken as Sven. Then she's got in a relationship, to cut a long story short this is, when I see her again. And then obviously today she's a single mother, and when she sees me, she doesn't give me a nasty look, but she gives like a dark, unsure maybe look. It's hard to describe, but as if you know, I wish I didn't know you, but I don't, but not sort of, it's like, there's a look also that she likes you, but she's trying to push her eyes to imply that she doesn't like you, to make that suggestion she doesn't like you. But this is only because she's been told that I'm Sven when I'm not, and it's turned her against me, and obviously it's too late now. The other person, called Emma, she doesn't really remember me from school. There was 2 occasions in 2022 where people started getting nasty and aggressive with me. She's 1 year older than me. One of the people that got aggressive with me, which is a couple of bearded chaps, saying that I'm a sick cunt and stop speaking to this Emma, and to say that you should be with Lisa Pike, which is a school friend I used to know. Take into account, Emma and Lisa are exactly the same age. But they don't know that. They think Emma's a lot younger because she's got a smoother skin than Lisa, where Lisa's got the attraction that I don't take to. Not at all. And they were getting nasty, saying I should be with this Lisa, and getting violent, thinking that Emma was younger than me when she's actually older than me. So it nearly went into an argument, and nearly went into a fight, and I was nearly fucking smashed out. So, but I did manage to escape that situation. And then there was in the same year, later on in that year, when I was speaking to her again, there was the same problem again by 2 other bearded types of people who were in their 20s. This time it didn't go into an argument, it just went into a bit of a disagreement, and obviously that was the end of that. And then in 2023 I saw her a few times, but it didn't really speak much, and Emma's sort of trying to sort of ward me off, basically, to say that she doesn't really want to know me. And then if she sees me, she does like a spastic pose, so I don't speak to her. And obviously I know how she works. I know she had that bit of a dry accent at school where she used to be like that, but I don't want to cause trouble, and I don't want to offend anyone, so I'm quite happy to leave it, you know. Let Emma get on with her life, and if I see her, just pass by. And if she does say hi, for example, then I'll say hi back, but it'd be just like bygones. We won't go into anything different than that. But she has made it clear she doesn't want to speak to me on several occasions, and she doesn't know me. And she has thought I was Sven as well, because she has been told that business as well, which occurred in mid-2023. So there's a lot of change there as well. So that's that, basically. Right, so the next thing I want to mention is animal voice sounds. Anything from seagulls saying that you're going to be knifed dead, you're going to be beat up just, you're a child rapist just, oh you did do Sadie just, or you did do Stephanie. Because obviously God thinks I've raped Stephanie and Sadie, and saying that I'm going to the fire of hell for it and whatever, without verifying the facts right first. And also, there's lies that enemies are made up on other sexual grounds in the past, but the Creator's feeding off of what people are saying, and the Creator God's causing the animals to speak in this way, to feed off the false lies, which is going against me, because God is believing the lies, which is causing all these curses and setups to go against me. But there's nothing you can do about it. And the other thing I want to mention is not just accusing me of having sex with Sadie or Stephanie as a child, or with a child, or as an adult, or with other children's names, but to claim that I'm going to have to pay for it with going to the fire of hell, or to be ripped to pieces in my next life, and whatever else. Animals have also been saying that you're being sexually abused as a child in your next life, once you've died in this life or been attacked and killed in this life. Seagull's been saying you did do whoever, and but if we go back when I was a little child, while I was actually being sexually abused as a child, seagulls are going ha 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 ha, and going, making stupid sounds like that, quite literally outside on the roof of where I was being, on one occasion of a specific time where I was being sexually abused as a child. So you know, you can work it out that the Creator God's fallen. It's as simple as that. So obviously dog barks, yes, you have raped her, you are going to be beat up, you're going to be fucking knife dead, you're being injected with HIV, ha ha, no one left now, just no one left, ha ha ha, no one left, you know. And many other things like telling me to fuck people that raped me as a child. and saying you should be with that person, and you know, it's all corrupt. I don't know what's causing the animals to speak like this or whatever, but it's been going on for years, literally from the start of my life. So yeah, this has just gone on and on. And even when I was trying to take pictures yesterday, because the sun kept coming out, there was only about 13 minutes of cloud cover, and there's specific cloud cover at times which only lasted a few seconds at the monument, and I took about 400 photos. Literally, I think we're trying to think how many minutes there was. There's no more than 4 minutes for the whole time I was there. I was there 3 hours, and it's just snapping, hoping for the fucking cloud to come over. A little bit of hazy sunshine, about 15 minutes of hazy sunshine, if that, hard to say, 10 minutes, but that would just be hazy, that wouldn't be where the cloud covers. Where you're actually getting a cloud cover was literally almost impossible yesterday. It was barely worth mentioning in the hazy sunshine, to be fair, because it's not really hazy sunshine, it's sort of white cloud where the sun's going through it. But it still looks like it's bright on the ground. Anyway, I did manage to get one specific picture, but I did have to make adjustments. I took roughly 400 and the rest had to be deleted because they were all out of focus. But then again, I was just snapping the pictures as fast as I fucking could as soon as we get that cloud cover, because obviously, you know, holding the finger and go you know, get loads in a go. And certain modes, you just hold the button in and it just do about 20 pictures in a few seconds, you know, and you just go through them or whatever. Well, I was just getting as many pictures as I could, as fast as I fucking could. Luckily the camera didn't end up broken, because I was in a very bad mood yesterday because I had a lot of problems, and that sun was not helping the issue. The sun, because they predicted cloud, you see, and it just weren't sunny. Most of the pictures I took, like I said, were out of focus, but there's a lot of pictures, I'm losing my wording, hang on, where insects were going in front of the camera, or seagulls, and the ones that were better in focus were with these distorted or out of focus flies going across the screen. Yet the ones that look normal were normal, it's like it's done in a cursed way. But like I said, I managed to get this one picture. I just had to do some adjustments with the focus on the internet, and so I managed to get one. It's not good, but it's the best you can do. A lot of it was silhouette as well, because you had the bright weather reflecting with the sun and the white cloud with the grey cloud mixed together. You wasn't getting it. You need just grey cloud or white cloud, not stupid sunny weather that's going to cause silhouette effects with the clouds, where it's like a choppy sort of grey mixed with white and the sunshine clouds, and you know, it's all over the place because it's too bright. It's known as bright weather when it does that, but there's not much you can do about it. Right, so I'm about just over a mile from where I live. It's because I'm at a place called Barrack, which is a regular walk I do when it's hot and sunny, or where I can't be bothered to go anywhere, or feel like doing something different, or want an easy day, or whatever, or if I have to do a recording like I'm doing today. That's another reason I come up here. Well, I just spoken to one of the staff workers at my place. I just wanted to find out what the weather's doing over there, even though it's only a mile or so away from where I am, because obviously it's clouded over towards the Yeovil direction. So basically I've spoken to them on the phone, and she basically said that it's nice and sunny for a change, saying that I think this is the first time I've seen any sun this week. So obviously it's been cloudy every day this week where they've been, which is true, because that's what they told me. They said it's been cloudy every time I phoned them up. Well, where I've been, it's been blue skies and sunshine, and I've always been within a 15-mile radius of Yeovil, so why am I being cursed with blue skies and sexual sunshine? So when are they going to make it sunny for everybody else and give me that week of cloud where it's just grey cloud around me then, to replace the damage that's done with this sexual curse of no sex and being forced to suffer in the sunshine? Because I'm getting pissed off of it. It's all the fucking time. Sex weather every fucking day. 365 days a year. The last 2 years I've lost pictures of old streetlights because of this. We had this problem going back in 2005, 2006, where they were trying to make it sunny as soon as you reached the old-fashioned streetlight. They were just doing it at streetlights at one point, stopping me to get pictures of streetlights. Even the doctor that I was speaking to was speculating, why is this occurring? I don't understand why this is occurring, saying it shouldn't be occurring, not this frequently anyway. So he agreed with me, even though he claimed I had schizophrenia. The other thing is, I will mention a few things that my old doctor did agree with, and he says that the loud bite time to an erection is not schizophrenia. He said that's something you're just going to put up with, but it shouldn't be happening. He says, I agree with you. He just says, if you feel like that, go for a walk on the beach or put some headphones on, listen to some music. Do try and get away from it, whatever's causing it. And, you know, but he did agree that that specific problem's not caused by schizophrenia. Although I don't believe I have schizophrenia, or no one believes I have schizophrenia, even he had some respect when it comes to that specific issue. But today, since I moved to Yeovil, they changed their theory on all that. They put everything that I mentioned down to schizophrenia, including the burning, the eye problem, the threats, the setups, you name it, everything you mention, everything's being put down to schizophrenia. Even the smell of petrol, or whatever I mentioned occurring at my place, especially in the year 2022, because they were putting that down to olfactory hallucinations. So anything you mentioned is being put down to schizophrenia. So I tend not to mention anything. I seem to do it my way these days. So if anyone starts, I tend to sort of shout back rather than mention it, because it's the only way you can deal with the situation now. When I mentioned that, going back a few weeks ago, month or so ago, there's one specific occasion where I shouted back at someone and said I was not very happy with someone. Said I sort of dealt it my way because I got upset about it because I'm being accused of this on sexuality. And basically they made a remark saying he's recovering. Because I shouted back, they said I was recovering. They didn't say it to my face, but they thought I was recovering because I ended up having an argument back rather than reporting it to the staff or whatever, or, you know, to the doctor or whatever. So they looked at it in that view. So I don't know why they said that. It sounded like they were definitely on about what I was on about at that time, but they thought I was saying he's recovering. So, you know, that's that basically. I know it's a rather odd thing to say, but they might not have been on about me. It's just, it sounded like they replied that when I mentioned that specific information. Not at me, you know, after I left the staff office. They might not have been on about me, but worth mentioning anyway. I just want to mention, not this exact day, but this time last year, although it's a really hot year, I think I might have already mentioned this, it is actually hotter today than it was on this day last year. But I want to mention something else. If we just go a few days after today, for the year 2022, the outside temperature was mostly, well, it was like clear in the sky, but there was a lot of cloud about, and the cloud was covering even where I was. And you have rain where I was at times, where I wasn't being cursed with the sunshine. Because the actual curses or the sunshine or whatever, the way it's being done now, where it's opening up only to occur where I am, has only occurred roughly around the same time I saw that painting, basically. It's not a good time to occur, but that's when it occurred. So when I mentioned that sexy lady that's shining the sunshine down on this man on the path, who's posing in a sexual way as if I want to give sex to him and causing the sun to come out over him, that's basically the same time period, or around the same time period, as when I've had to put up with the sun being cursed on me every single day, everywhere I go. From that time period onwards. Not 2015 or 2016 when I first saw it on the internet, but from the time of when I saw it in recent times, going on the postcard. And it's a recent postcard because the lady in Yandles in Martok did say that these are newish cards, newly pressed, and you know, that's it. So they are newish cards, but the painting goes back as far as 2015, 2016. Like I said, it looks similar to Lauren in Tesco's, but not completely. They could be suggesting someone different, but it's definitely got her looks in it. So there's nothing you can do about it. That's how they're operating the weather. But like I said, it's going against me because they're violating me with sexuality and keeping the sun out. I mean, we get days where it's sunny, yes, fair enough. But I'm talking about these days that have been predicted cloudy, and where it's cloudy for everybody else, which seems to be quite frequent this year. So for most other people it's been quite a cloudy year, but for me it's been blue skies and sunshine every day. But they're violating me and not giving me the sex, so they need to reorganise those clouds in the sky to give everybody else the sunshine, and to pay back to give me the cloud, but without the heavy rain, where I go, basically, because that's all they're doing. I'm being cursed. And the fact that they're predicting that next year is going to be a hotter, sunny year than this year, because they're claiming that this year has been cloudy, has pissed me right off, because I'm not going to be very fucking happy next year if that's the case, because I'm getting pissed off. I'm actually getting nasty about it. So it's actually making me slightly unhappy, this weather, because I'm starting to get pissed off of it, because for the last 2 years, I've had to put up with sunny days, literally every single day, almost every single day, all year round, 365 days a year. The winter months, I mean, the whole of January, 2023, apart from New Year's Day, every single day in January was blue skies and sunshine. That's every single day. The same for February, apart from one cloudy-ish white cloud morning up until just before midday, and one snowstorm. Otherwise, the whole of February, to what I remember, 2023 was sunny. So, you know, they're being very, very clever with the weather. I'm getting a bit pissed off with it. Just to recap on these voice sounds that are coming from animals, they keep on accusing me of being with Amy Weston as well, or having sex or had sex with Amy Weston, which is not true. Amy Weston doesn't like me. She doesn't like people that are mentally disabled. And I come into that category where I'm mentally disabled and she doesn't like it, so she doesn't like me, as simple as that. She likes some people that are mentally disabled, but only those that are her in her ways. Amy Weston, believe it or not, has the same accent as Sadie Dando. But anyway, I'm not going to go into any more details on that. That's just accent, you know, same accent, speech or whatever. But yeah, when it comes to Amy Weston, she was one of those really sexy people. So if you look at the American singer called Gabby Borges, I mentioned this many times before, she actually had smoother skin than Gabby Borges. And she had a more sexual looking appearance in the face than Gabby Borges as well, believe it or not. So yeah, she was one of those really sort of, you know, she had a lot of people, she knows a lot of people. I won't go into the information of what she's done with her people or whatever, but let's put it this way, they've been very good friends with her, and the same with her 5,000 friends in her old Facebook account friends list. I'm not saying that she's had fun with all of them, but she's had good friends in her lifetime, let's put it that way. Her age today, she'd be currently coming up towards about 40-ish. I'm not sure of her exact age, I've never known her exact age. She has a brother called Callum Evans as well, and obviously Alex Lunnis. He's someone that used to hang around with that side of the family, and he's got a sexual relationship with Shara Weston. And again, believe it or not, although Alex is only 1 year younger than me, I'm known as a sick cunt if I look at the Shara Weston type, even at the age he is today. That's how much people have changed. So, you know, there's nothing you can do about it. I'll be known as a sick cunt if I look at the Amy type as well. I don't know why this is, I don't know why I've been cursed in this way or why people are starting on me for this. But what I will say is it would be impossible to find a sexual person over the age of 30 that looks like Amy Weston. Impossible, possibly, worldwide. She's one of those sort of really sexiest people on the earth type of lookers. And but you know, there's nothing you can do about it. She didn't ever really know me, to be honest. I knew her as a kid for a short period of time, but she had a friend called Michael who lived next door to her when she used to live at Portman Crescent, before she moved to Portman Road, you know, in North Perriton. I won't give details of the actual door numbers or anything like that, because I don't want to give that sort of information. Yeah, you know, you're not going to get anyone as sexy as that. I mean, to find someone as sexy as that, you're going to have to look at someone at least under the age of 22. For that sort of appearance. I use the term sexuality. But if you want to make the suggestion that they fucked my life up or want to curse me with a suggestion, they did it with Scooter's Night Track. They're saying that Amy's arrived, or making a suggestion like that. saying get in a sexual relationship, you've got a baby coming out, you're going into labour, you're going to end up pregnant with Jesus Christ by fucking Amy Weston because she's so sexy, you're going to open the doorway to heaven for everybody, and making a suggestion stupidly like that. And then to say that you're the great one now that's been passed on to you, the Mike, or applying Mike. There's only two people I know called Mike, and that's an old school friend I don't really speak to, and my father, and that's it really. So that's basically what they're applying with Scooters tracks, but they're corrupt, you know, it's all corrupt music, it's all commercial mainstream. When it comes to Scooters music, it's just ordinary pop music, club music, but it's even on Now That's What I Call Music, and when something's on Now That's What I Call Music, there's a load of commercial rubbish. So that's that. But Amy, I have seen, she still had that sexy skin right up to her high 30s, mid 30s. She only started to go into negative attraction, but when she did go into negative attraction, it was suddenly. It wasn't over. There's only a case of over a couple of years. So she had that sort of soft, smooth skin. Still, I guess around the age of 34, 35. I'm not sure what the age is. That's just a guess. I don't know her exact age. 2 years after. Well, basically, let's put it an easier way. I was at Burnham-on-Sea just before I moved to from Burnham-on-Sea to Yeovil. I saw her, and she still had that smooth skin a couple of years before I moved from Burnham-on-Sea to Yeovil. Just before I moved to Yeovil, her attraction changed dramatically. She looked like she was actually like near enough wrinkly, and she was skinnier than what she used to be. Just like she just suddenly went into an ageing process over a 2-year period. So she looks a bit different. It's not something I really should be going into, but animal voice sounds cause this, and this is why I'm mentioning it. But it's not just animal voice sounds. I mean, general setups that occur in a day. I mean, this has actually occurred this week. I wouldn't say it's occurred in the last couple of days, but you know, you've had an Amy van followed by a Western van, and sort of suggesting Amy. Even I was going to do a documentary on it actually. Basically, what I'm mentioning now, when that setup occurred 3 or 4 days ago. So obviously, there's a thing of the past. It's too late. I've said this many times before. She's in a relationship. She's a single mother of many. It's too late to do anything. I've said this. All the people of the past, it's too late. Now, there is something I'm going to mention on this, and I'm not quite sure whether to mention this person's name, because I don't know if it's good to. I would like to, but it's difficult, because this person I'm going to mention is actually someone I see on a regular basis, and it's someone in Yeovil. So I'm not actually sure whether to give this name, because there's going to be details I need to give, and the details, if I don't give the name, even going to make the suggestion quite obvious, and it's going to make me feel embarrassed if I see this person or mention this person. But I'll give you a section of it now, and then I'll think of what I can say for the second part. There's a person in an American car that asked me a question, got into a quick conversation, and said, basically asked if you've been in a relationship or you're in a relationship. I'm not quite sure how it brought it up. It's like he's edging the conversation to try and get that information out of me, which I didn't mind answering him. You know, so I said, no, I'm not in a relationship. And then he sort of heard that, said, have you heard this specific name, or said this specific name? And I said, yes, I do know this specific name. I said, I see this person quite regular. And said, she's sort of, just applying, if you tried with her, or sort of just that. I did get in the conversation eventually, but how do I word that? Yeah, so basically I said it would be a bit of a problem because people moan about the age gap and all the rest of it. And he said something else. He had a sort of American accent, you see. A sort of white registration plate looks slightly different, and obviously he's seated on the other side of the car. So obviously it's definitely someone. It could be someone over here, or it could be just. Either way, I'd like to give more information to sort of suggest who this person is. It's very difficult to say because there's a lot of it could cause trouble, you see, but at the same time it might not cause trouble, but it could also embarrass me. It could make people laugh, but it could also be done in like a funny way, if you get what I'm saying. It's really difficult to explain what I need to say. So after getting in the conversation, he sort of say, "You've lived here long? Has you lived all your life?" It's sort of like that, just sort of conversation like that. But I thought some of it's quite personal, but I thought I don't mind answering a few questions. His face sort of dropped. He didn't get in a mood or anything like that. Bloody hell, always had this catalytic, this fucking... Yeah, we had this earlier, when I'm not actually videotaping it. Sorry, I just stopped the recording a minute to get past this. Right, so trying to think of how this would offend, or not offend. Right, yeah, so what was applied or discussed in conversation, if I was to go with this specific person, I can't say where this person is or where this person lives, but it's definitely someone in Yeovil. It could work different ways with different people. Some people might laugh about it and sort of not take the piss and be surprised, but laugh in like a surprise like this. Others who are more serious in the mind or moaning about age gaps or stuff like that would take it sinister and get quite nasty and vicious about it. And others may see it as we're not happy about it, but it's okay, it's not a problem, it's normal, and like that. But what I will say, before I go any further, a couple of months ago, although people were moaning about age gaps or telling me this and that against age gaps, there was actually a bloke, roughly my age, maybe a bit older, with a lady in her earlier part of the 20s, and they were kissing and cuddling. They're foreigners, yeah. So one of them had white skin and one of them had darkish skin. So there were two different races, and there was a massive age gap. Well, this bearded person, looked at them normally as if it was normal, it was normal. But when he passed me, he had me down as a sick bastard, starting a row with me, claiming I was Savan. So, what's going on, Why is he... I thought he would have been moaning about the age gap between those, rather than having a go at me, but... This is confusing, because I'm usually moaned at about age gaps, and the fact that he walked past, I've already mentioned this, it's already on YouTube. I've already put that one on YouTube, but... I don't know what the reason is, but that's what occurred. When it comes to this specific lady, also, it could be an issue with the age gap. I don't know. It's not easy to fucking explain this video. It's not an easy one. Because I don't want to give the name, you see, because it could cause embarrassment or cause trouble or whatever, depending on... There's also other people with the same name as well. That's what you've got to consider. There's not a one name. Maybe not so much in Yeovil, but there's other people that I know with that name, and it's going to look very odd or very not right if I put mention this specific name. But it's let's put it this way. Again, I can't mention that because it will only fall into a possible suggestion of issues. I have been told by someone, or hinted by someone, a couple of years ago, why not try asking this person out, or trying to get to know that person. So it's definitely someone that I know in Yeovil. I can't say if it's someone I know from the past or someone new. But when it comes to what I was speaking to, when it comes to this American driver, that's basically, I answered these questions basically, and that was it really. He had a bit of a straight face when I spoke to him, but he wasn't in a mood or anything like that. He was on his own, by the way, in the car. He seemed to be quite a high up person, so he had like a posh sort of car. I'm not sure what to make of it. It's a grey car, smartly dressed, blazer and that sort of stuff. I guess he just doesn't know the area, maybe wants to just have a chat, I don't know. But I handed the information across of what, when it came to what he sort of came into conversation, and that's that. I'll leave it there because it's awkward. Right, let's get with today's setup, since I couldn't mention yesterday's. I actually did a recording, but the actual digital audio recorder fucked up on the the day before yesterday, I think. I mentioned quite a lot of threats and new threats as well. Stubborn sort of threats, like new information in the threats. But it's on paper, so it's not a problem. I've got it on paper. So I photographed the sheets, but there's some quite interesting new information that really needed to be sort of mentioned. Yesterday I did do a recording. The setups were bad, but I decided to delete it because I thought by the time I get back, I'm not going to have time to do this, and I thought I want my drink in peace, my beer in peace in the evening. And also it's very hot and sunny and soaking wet, even though it's cloudy for everybody else. But as far as today goes, it's down to what it was yesterday and the day before. So got to the bus station, it's packed. Although it's sunny, it's not very often it's very sunny and the bus station's packed. It's usually packed to stop me going on the public transport on a cloudy day, but today it's actually packed. The traffic's gridlock. It is Friday, but usually it's not usually this busy on a Friday morning. So I didn't really take much of a notice of the vehicles because it's sort of half sleepy. I just wasn't in the mood for it. I couldn't cross up my usual spot. I had to go right down to the bottom of the road because of how busy it was. So lots of black and blue cars, obviously. I didn't bother writing down, just something like 400 cars, 80% in suggestion, 80%. Usually when I put the percentage, it's sort of 80% for structural, for how constructed it is, and for power or suggestion I sometimes put a percentage for that. But if the average is about 80% or whatever for both, then I just state it as 80% for both and just state it as 80%. But if it's really bad, then I sort of state it as a setup's 100% or whatever. Sometimes I state it as 80% and forget to say that the actual suggestion's only about 40%. But saying 80% is still there, still structured, constructive. So there's been quite a few loud bike issues initially, which has kind of dropped now. Last Sunday that was very bad. And it's Sundays when the burning starts to get bad for some reason. That's one thing I was going to mention that I forgot. I was supposed to mention this earlier. Yesterday, when I missed the bus, I decided to walk into Crew Curtain, and I decided to see if I could find the area of where the property is that Home Finder, to take into account I got soaked because of how hot the weather was, to see what flat they're renting. I don't know if the council are aware of this, but it's near Kit Hill, which is at the top end of where they're sort of advertising this property. It was only a fucking rough block of flats with 3 smashed windows that are boarded up, what they're advertising for people to move into and what they've been advertising. And this means I've got to retract. This means that I've had to retract my bid because I bidded on that place to move to it. Although it's unlikely I get accepted. When I saw those smashed windows yesterday, I realised that's where I bidded to move to with the Somerset County Council's mutual exchange register. So they're certainly not offering the bestest places, are they? So I can't remember what floor they were offering, or whether it's said, but the smashed windows seem to be the one on the, not the ground floor, but the first floor, and one of the windows higher up to that, which is on the other side of the same building. So there's 3 windows that are smashed all together in a building, a block of flats that the council are offering for people to move into. Believe it or not, yep. Going back to the American car that pulled up and I started having a conversation with me earlier, regarding this specific lady. This lady doesn't like me as much as she used to like me. It's unsure whether she actually likes me today. I'm not sure. So it's hard to say. She's one of those that would say, okay, you know, she'd be alright with you, but actually liking you, it might be a bit different to what it used to be, say, when I first knew her. So bear that in mind, though I'm not 100% sure. So I've been on the internet, I've been looking for the what the temperature was for 2022 for this time of the year, and it is actually hotter than I thought. So it was 18 degrees, between 16 and 18. In 2023 it was 22. Today's predicted 23, 24, but it feels about 27ish. In 1981 it doesn't actually give you the actual temperature of the week, it only gives you the temperature of the month. So when they were doing the readings back at that time, and the average temperature was 6 to 7 degrees Celsius for this month. Right, there's something I was going to mention earlier and I forgot to mention it. So that is, when I was speaking to the doctor in 2015-2016 area, I was saying that 99.9% of all problems is caused by sexuality, and I said if I had someone, that problem would be resolved. I wouldn't let hardly any of the problems. That's at that time. That's before the sort of eye problem, garden burning and whatever else. So those 2 things probably would have still carried on even if I had wanted someone, but take those 2 things away because they weren't even occurring and weren't mentioned at the time. In actual fact, the Savannah Liam threat didn't occur, and it was before that as well. It's before that time. This is 2015-2016. Anyway, I was mentioning saying that if I had a partner or sexuality, I wouldn't let hardly any problems bother me. I'd live my life normally and all the rest of it. And he says, the problem is you're not going to get anyone, and we can't guarantee 100% what you're saying is true. Saying, I have my own suspicion, you may think it's true, but we have our own speculation. And then I said, that's if it's like someone, you know, someone sexy enough to be with, or someone that I can fancy or whatever, when I mentioned it at that time. But he said, the problem is you're not going to get anyone, and this is why we have to sort it out through medication. I said, medication is not going to work when it comes to sexuality. And he says, yes, but it will help relieve the wanting or needing a woman or needing sex or anything like that. So even back then. But if we go back to an earlier time, say 2010ish, I had a different doctor at that time, and I said exactly the same thing to him, and he said maybe that be true. He said what you're saying could actually be true. He says he has heard of people recovering completely and have changed completely when they have found a partner or someone that they really fancy and get on well with. And he says, so you're not making it up. But obviously in 2015-2016 area, that theory changed when I was speaking to the doctor. And today, or not today, but when I mentioned this in 2022, they disagreed and said nothing would make any difference. And then they sort of brought up this Lisa Pike, you know, I can't stand the look of issue and all the rest of it. And I thought to myself, yeah, if someone looks like that and you never had anyone in your whole life, like I mentioned throughout this documentary of this whole video that I'm doing now, then yeah, it's not going to make any difference, is it? So obviously in today's dark time where it's too late, then yes, it's not going to make any difference. It's very unlikely, 99.9% too late, but it's worth mentioning for a documentary, you know, worth mentioning for the life story. Thanks for listening to this video, and if you've got any comments, leave it in the comments below. I will just give you a quick update. I just want to find out what the temperature would have been, say, in 1994-ish area for this month. I've just had a quick preview to see what the temperature was overall for the month of August 1994, and it's the same as 1981, between 6, 7, possibly 8 degrees. 2003 seems quite high though, as you had 20 degrees Celsius in 2003 in this month, which surprised me because I didn't know it was that hot. Not for this month, but that's what it says on the internet. So, but anyway, thanks for watching this, listening to this video. This is not very good. Home Finder. You know, I mentioned that I went to have a look yesterday at the property that's being advertised on Home Finder. They've got a picture of the area of the boarded up windows, so when that photo was taken it must have been before the windows got smashed. Well, it's not going to look very good, is it, for all those people that are bidding on that property, because a lot of these people got cars, you know, they drive around there to see what it looks like, and it's all boarded up. It's not a good example for Somerset County Council, is it? But anyway, it's no problem with me because I've retracted my bid, but yeah, they need to be careful what they advertise, to be fair, because if they're going to advertise to innocent people that are trying to look for a places that are boarded up, then it's not very, it doesn't look good with the council, does it? But you know, worth mentioning.